Okay, first and foremost, I want to give all the honors, praises, glory and honor belongs to Yahweh by Sham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Mahavakar, Kodash. Name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shai, and who I reverence. And honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, in the Lord willing that you will be edified in these last days. Right? This is going to be concerning Revelations 16 and 13. And this is basically based on the unclean spirits and how they operate. Right? And I want to go to Revelations because there's many forms of unclean spirits, many different forms. Start at Revelation 16 and jump straight to verse 13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. Right? So we know the dragon represents the empire, the Roman Empire. Right? And out of the mouth of the beast, right, which is this system, NATO, EU. So even within these nations, right, we're dealing with, yes, the nations, NATO, we're dealing with unclean spirits. And including the parliament as well. Everybody that's in a higher position. And out of the mouth of the false prophet, right? And the mouth of the false prophet represents the Catholic Church. So when you go into Protestant, when you go into Methodist, Pentecostal, Baptist, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Wickedness, when you go to all these churches, what's coming out of that? 3 unclean spirits, which the first one is London, which is the financial district, right? So there's a lot of unclean spirits operating in London. And that's why I say, even the people in the parliament, who's speaking through them? The devil, right? Giving them certain ideas and influencing them. Because that's what an unclean spirit does. It influences. It's an evil spirit, right? And the next one would be Washington, D.C., right? Which is the, what's it? A lot of people, there's a lot of discussion about that. Some say Washington is the military district. Some say New York is the financial district. But that's up for argument. But still, just say to keep it, it's Washington. All right? So these are the 3 unclean spirits. And we're going to go into how these unclean spirits operate. And when you have a frog, what does a frog do? It makes like a burping noise. It goes derp, burp, burp. So have you ever noticed people? Have you ever noticed this? People with unclean spirits, remember they come in different forms. Have you noticed the coughs? Right? You may ask yourself, why do they cough like that? Now you have some people that generally cough because they need to clear their throat. And you have those that cough because what? That's an unclean spirit that they're trying to put out in the atmosphere. Yes, there's spirits behind them. And it's called an unclean spirit. Right? And I always say this, when you cough, a true cough comes from your diaphragm, your whole body. Right? Then there's a cough from your throat, which would be an unclean spirit of frogs. Because a frog, the burp comes from the throat. So it represents people that are in these churches, Christianity. We're dealing with unclean spirits and any other philosophy that they're into. Right? That's why sometimes you can hear that burp. Sometimes you can hear that cough. And why do they do that? Because them demons want you to know they're there. Sometimes them demons get uncomfortable. And sometimes people do that to try to push an unclean spirit on you. Yes, witches do it. Warlocks do it. They try to cough over you to put that spirit upon you. So this is real. This is real stuff. Okay. And that's how certain miracles are worked as well. By summoning unclean spirits, they do miracles on the left hand side. Right? So we went to that. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Verse 14, for they are the spirit of devils. So it tells you what spirit it is. Of devils. So if someone's behind you, you're just sitting down and they're right behind your back. They're not covering their mouth. They go, they're trying to channel that spirit onto you. And this is a common thing. You may not know, but now you know, within witchcraft. That's why some people do that. Right? Because if you can cough, right? Just why did they say cover your mouth when you sneeze, when you cough? Because that can spread, it's contagious. So it's the same thing with an unclean spirit. Okay? Just giving you some tips. For they are the spirits of devils. Right? Working miracles. So these are the same spirits that, work miracles because they're working with them unclean spirits that give them ideas. So these spirits are giving them their ideas from your politicians, from your highest to your lowest of politicians, from NATO, from military, from all the higher echelon, from on down. They're dealing with unclean spirits. Right? Working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth. See? So it says that go forth unto the kings. So that even the kings, the presidents, the elites, they're dealing in them same spirits. And the whole world to gather them to the battle of the great day of the power Almighty. So the spirits of devils are lying to them and deceiving them, and they're gonna bring them down to that valley of Jehoshaphat, valley of Jehoshaphat. Right? So this is real stuff. Okay? And I'm going to go into a bit more. They operate in so much different ways, and the unclean spirit can be very mischievous as well. Go to example of, excuse me just a minute. There's so much I want to get out. All right, we're going to quickly go to 1 Kings 1 and 20. Is it 1 and 22? 1 and 22 and 22nd chapter and 20. Right? Start at 19. And he said here, right? Therefore, the word of the Lord, I saw the Lord sitting on the throne and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on the right and the left. And the Lord Jehovah said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? Right? And one said of this manner, and another said in that manner. So there's spirits that are ready, angels that are ready to put in work on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. And they came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord Jehovah and said, I will persuade him. Persuade who? Persuade Ahab and his prophets, lying prophets, right? To go to battle and to be slain. And so that means there's persuasive spirits, there's lying spirits, there's seducing spirits. And the Lord Jehovah said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth and I will be a lying spirit. So a lying spirit is a mischievous spirit, right? In the mouth of all his prophets. It says in the mouth. In the mouth. That's them unclean spirits again. Going back to Revelation 16. Of all his prophets. So you also have false prophets that, but they're lying. Right? And you can see that because how their mouth moves as well. Even when they speak, their mouth, like everything else ain't moving except from their mouth. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also and go forth. Do so. So there's spirits that are also that can persuade, that are sent out there to do the bidding of Yahushua and to persuade and deceive men. Now therefore, behold, the Lord Yahushua put a lying spirit in the mouth of all thy prophets. Excuse me just a minute. I want to go into the blue letter. So lucky about this. I should have got this prepared before. Lying spirits. So these spirits, they come in many different forms. Quickly get this. Lying spirits. Lexicon. All right, it says deceitful, kazab, lie, lying, falsehood, a lie, untruth, falsehood, deceptive thing, untruth, figuratively idle, deceitful, false, leasing, liar, falsehoods. So they're operating off falsehoods, right? In the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord Jehovah shall have spoken evil concerning thee. So now we establish that these spirits have been sent also to lie to whole congregations. Yeah, this ties in with the churches, right? Because when we went into the three unclean spirits, it said the beast, the dragon, right? And where else? The false prophet, which is the church, universalism, Catholic. So what are they operating upon? Them unclean spirits. Okay, and this is a system, by the way. This system operates on unclean spirits. Have you ever wondered why you're traveling and you have people coughing, sneezing, coughing? That's unclean spirits, whether they know they're doing it or not. Okay, and they're trying to sick them spirits upon you, right? So we went to that. I want to make sure I'm getting the right things because I don't want to miss anything. How did Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, deal with these spirits? Now, I went into the topic. They're mischievous as well. Example. Let's grab when Yahweh Shai was casting that spirit out. Right? To Mark. When that individual said, have thou come to torment us before our time? Bear me just a minute. Okay. All right, we got Matthew 8 and 29. Hold it on deck. And okay. Because Yahweh Shai, many times, he dealt with unclean spirits. And these unclean spirits, they love a warm and cozy home for a host. Remember, they dwell in people's vessels. Right? Remember when they went into them pigs? We're going to go into it, Baba Kashan. And these things, they inhabit waste places. Do you know demons as well inhabit waste places as well? That's why, you know, a lot of desolate buildings. You know, a lot of, example, we're going to get back into this. You know, a lot of, what is it? You know, you have a lot of industrial estates. Well, an industrial estate that's emptied out, that's a perfect habitation for spirits. Abandoned buildings, right? So bear with me just a minute. And the unclean spirits also represents the spirit of unbelief that refuses to acknowledge the truth, right? And the water is often a symbol of judgment. So the unclean spirit is looking for a rest where it shall be, where it will not be judged. It's looking for a place to rest, right? Wait, this is some heavy stuff. This is some heavy stuff. Go to Matthew 8. Right, check this out. Right, they're very sneaky spirits. Go to Matthew 8 and 28. And when he was come to the other side, into the country of Gergesenes, there met him two possessed with devils, coming out of the tombs, exceedingly fierce, angry. Yeah, them spirits can cause you to be fierce and angry. Right? Exceeding great beyond measure. That means chiefest, right? And it says, check this out. Hold on. And met him with two, and exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way. Because he was exceeding fierce. People were scared. He was exceeding angry. You ever, bro, I've dealt with this. Someone walking down the road, shouting, screaming, right? And behold, they cried, saying, what have we? Cried out, saying, hold on just a minute, to cry the cry of a raven. Woo! Hey, hold on.
Strong's G 2896,
Kradzo. Kradzo. It says to croak. To croak. What does a frog do? A frog croaks. Right? We went into that scripture on what Revelation 16, the unclean frog, and so forth. The cry of a raven. Right? So you even got people out here that are crying like ravens, even sound like ravens. Hence to cry out, to cry aloud, to vociferate, to cry or pray for vengeance, that's something else. To cry out, to croak, to scream. Right? To scream, to cry aloud, to shriek, scream. Bro, I deal with this a lot. Bro, sometimes I hear it from miles away. Right? And it says, Baba Kasha, what have we cried out saying? What have we to do with thee? There's that panicking. Because them spirits panic at the presence of Yahweh Shai and his authority. What have we to do with thee, Yahweh Shai, Son of the Most High? So they already know who Yahweh Shai is, right? And they're saying, what have we to do with thee? Right? Hold on just a minute. So what have we to do with thee, thou Son of the Most High? Are thou come hither to torment us? So if they're asking, have they come hither to torment us, they know they have a certain amount of time to cause this mischief and to be in people's vessels messing about. Right? Are thou come to torment us? Go into this word torment. Torment. Bezilido.
Strong's G 928.
Bazanidzo. To test. Alright. To question by applying torture. Right? To torture. Right? To vex with grievous pains of body or mind, to torment, to be harassed, distress of those who are at sea struggling with headwind, pain, toil, vex. So a lot of the times these spirits feel vexed when you're around them because they know and they recognize Yahweh Shai. Okay? Before the time. So these spirits know they're being tormented before their time. That's why I always say there's a couple of things they try to do. The first thing, they try to get you out of there quick. Get out, get out, get out. Or they stay down and they get out. And there was a good way off from Rem. I heard many swine feeding, and the devils besought him, begged, saying, if thou hast cast us out, suffer us to go away into the swine, the pig. Right? The pig. Suffer us. Let us go into the pig. Because it's the nearest unclean thing to what they could see. And plus they need a vessel. And he said unto them, go. When they were come out, and they went into the herd of swine, and behold, the whole herd of swine ran. And it ran violently, because it was legion, down a steep place into the sea, and perished in the waters. And they that kept them fled, and went their ways. It says, and they that kept them fled, and went their ways, because you had other people that had legion on them as well. They fled away. Right? So there's great panic when you have the authority of Yahweh Shai. And went their ways into the city, and told everything and what was befalling to the possessed of devils. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Yahweh Shai. And when they saw him, they besought him that he would depart. Every time I read this, it's like you would think, hold on, wouldn't they want them same spirits that were in them to be cleansed? That means they had them same spirits within them, because they wanted him to depart. Remember, them spirits tremble out of their coast. Go to James now. Right? But it shows you these demons are intelligent, because it says, when you go up, it says, have thou come to torment us before thy time. So these demons are somewhat intelligent. Right? So now, let's go to this word mischievous. Mischievous means behaving in a way, or describing behavior, a sense of humor. No. Mischievous spirit is a mischievous grin. And you're going to see the picture that I put up with this video soon. The frog has a mischievous grin. Used to describe behavior or words that are intended to cause harm or trouble. So a mischievous spirit is they call it low key. It's a low key spirit. It's a spirit of mischief, trouble, harm, right? What else? It's playful. It's annoying. It causes annoyance, harm, trouble, roguishly, slyly, teasing, and it can be harmful and injurious. So basically it's a sneaky spirit. Okay, that's why when you go to Ephesians 6:11, it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the wiles of the devil." So one thing at a time. Excuse me, just a minute. One thing at a time. So we went to that, right? And the scriptures tell us to beware of mischievousness. This is Proverbs 6:12. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes. He speaketh with his feet. Right? Key thing. Walketh with a froward mouth. Lies, deceit, mischievousness. He winketh with his eyes. So they signal, right? He speaketh with his feet. There's that signaling. He teacheth with his fingers. Right? Frowardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually. There's that word mischief again. So this spirit is a sneaky, mischievous spirit. Right? Some spirits are more sneaky than others. He soweth discord. Right? Confusion. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. So it's also showing you how some of these spirits operate. That's why you need to read the scriptures so you know what you're dealing with. So now we went to that. We're also on the online etymology. Right? Baba Kasha. So what was Yahushua doing? He was exercising these demons. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything as well. Excuse me just a minute. Make sure I'm getting everything in the right place. All right. Hold on just a minute. Okay. So yes, we went to that. And yeah, another thing as well. Go to James. You know when we read the end of Matthew's, they wanted him to depart out of their coast. Why? Because you got to understand something about spirits. Now there's some people that get healed. They're fine. They're going to want you to stay. Then there's some people that are so spiritually and demonically possessed. Them spirits want you gone. Go to James 2. They wanted him out of the coast. Right? They prayed that he would depart. They were begging him to depart. That wasn't the people. That was them spirits. Please leave. Leave. Just leave. That's what them spirits do. Because they feel uncomfortable. That's why there's a saying. Sometimes you irritate their demons. James 2 and 19. Thou believest that there is one power. Thou do as well. The devils also believe and tremble, which means shudder. So they believe and they shudder at those that really do have the authority in Yahushua. They shudder. That means they shake. Right? They tremble. They start shaking. Right? So now we went to that, Baba Kasha. And that's how Yahushua, what was he doing? He was exercising. Right? You have to exercise. Exercise, excuse me, just a minute. So the first thing, when you go into unclean, is what? Morally impure, defiled, unfit for food, unclean, dirty, and so forth. Polluted, profane, impure through idols, whatever. And you have that word exorcist. Right? Exorcist. So excuse me just a minute. Exercise. It says to invoke spirits. No, we're not invoking spirits, by the way. You're supposed to be rebuking those spirits. From exorciser, from Latin exorciser, from Greek exorcising, banish of an evil spirit. Bind with an oath. So can you banish an evil spirit? Yes, you can. Right? And, right? You can bind by an oath. What's the oath? The covering of Yahushua, the covenant. Sense of call up evil spirits to drive them out. Yeah, you can do that as well. Drive them out. Right? And what else? Due to influence, exercise. And from that short for the word exercise, what's exercise mean? Condition of being active, in operation. Now, you notice what happens. We're going to go to it. What happens when you slow down? You become inactive in the operation. Practice for the sake of training from old French exercises. Execution of power, physical or spiritual exercise. So, we need to spiritually exercise. Read, study, pray. That's spiritual exercise. From Latin, exercitum, training, physical exercise, soldiers, horsemen, play, in. Also in arts. What else? Keep busy. How do we keep busy? Staying in these scriptures. Don't worry about what the world's saying. See, the world wants you to be overcome by evil spirits. Keep busy. You do as much as you can. And even when I do these videos, why do I do these videos? So I can have a hedge around me. Keep at work, oversee, engage, busily, train, practice, follow, carry into effect. Disturb, disquiet, keep away, prevent, contain, enclose. So what do we prevent? We prevent these demonic attacks and these evil spirits from leeching onto you by what? By exercising the spiritual gifts. To hold, to contain, to guard. All these words. Alright? So there's a spiritual exercise we need to do. And bind by an oath, the oath of Yahweh Shai. Right? So we went to that. And when you're not doing that, go to Matthew's. We shut off on this. Matthew's 12. Right? So these mischievous spirits, the unclean spirits, they come in different forms. They attack in different forms. Because they're demon. What is a demon? A demon is intelligent, right? So they're intelligent. They're sneaky. Right? Very sneaky. But that's why you have to point it out. Right? Point that demon out. Because if you don't, that demon's just going to what? Cause havoc. That's their job, to cause havoc. Alright? So, now we go to Matthew's 12 and 43. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places seeking rest. I might as well get this in the online, the lexicon. Right? Quickly go to this. And some of these spirits, they will try to mock you if you're not in the spirit. Remember, they're intelligent. Right? 12 and 43. And just, you know what? I want to say this as well. Don't think for 1 minute. If a demonic spirit mocks you, right? Okay. It doesn't mean you're not a man of the Lord. They will try to play on emotions, by the way. That's how they operate. This is Matthew 12 and 43. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places. Dry. Right? Without water, that means. Waterless, dry. Okay? Deserts. Right? And where was Yahushua tempted? In the wilderness, which is equating to a desert. Seeking rest. So that spirit seeking rest. Because it left you. Alright? So, when you actually go into this, that spirit is seeking rest. Alright? That spirit is a tormenting spirit. And findeth none. Excuse me. Got the hiccups. And findeth none. Then he said, if I will return unto my house. Right? What's that house? A body. Because we know spirits need a body to inhabit. Right? And when you go to body of the human body as the abode of demons that possess it. So demons can possess vessels, man. The inmates of a house, all the persons forming one family or household. And that's why you got to pray over the household as well. Right? The family of God, the Christian church, bro, you have to pray over the household because spirits can enter in many different ways. Especially if you have doors open. Enter many ways. And it says, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest and findeth none. that sounds like torment to me. Then he saith, I will return unto my house from whence I came out. So that spirit wants to get back in. It's begging. And when he has come, he findeth it empty. So when he has come back now, it's empty, swept and garnished. Go into this word garnished. Garnish is cosmeo. Cosmeo, put in order, arrange, make ready, prepare. Ornament, adorn, metaphor, to embellish with honor. Gain. Honor. So then that one demon comes and embellishes your mind. When you're not praying, when you're not fasting, when you're not thinking about this. That's why, that's why I'm diligent. That's why I do what I do. And because I want salvation. But the reason why you think, well, why does he do so much videos? Why? Because I don't want to be overcome by wicked, evil, unclean spirits. That's why. When he said, I've returned to my house from whence I come out and find it swept and garnished, completely void of any type of wisdom of the scriptures. When he goeth and taketh with him 7 other spirits, more wicked than himself, and they enter in, and they dwell there. 7. 7 means completion. Right? So just an example of this. Say if you stopped smoking, then you continued, you went back to smoking. That spirit is going to bring even more. That one spirit is going to bring its buddies. Say if you were, what's another example? I'm trying to think of different examples. Just say if you were doing something, you stopped it, and you carried on doing it again. They're going to be stronger. Them demons are going to come stronger. Stronger. Right? And it says, then he goeth and taketh with him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself. I want to type in this word spirits. It says proneo. Right? Spiritual nature of Mashiach. It says used of demons or evil spirits who were conceived as inhabiting the bodies of men. So it says used of demons or evil spirits who were conceived as inhabiting the bodies of men. So they can still do that today. They can inhabit bodies, right? Just like that movie Fallen. Watch that movie and see what happens when them spirits are jumping from person to person, trying to attack Denzel Washington, right? Then you have that woman, right, that was saying, time is on our side. Yes, it is. She was possessed. So this is real life stuff. And that was Azazel. Azazel is a wicked spirit that tries to scapegoat, right? Tries to blame. But I want to stay on this, Baba Kishar. What else? Wicked than himself, and they enter in and they dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. You're in a worse state. Even so shall it be also to this wicked generation. Wicked generation. So I always say this was not going to happen to the house of David. It was going to happen to the house of Sam. And those that were not of the elect. Right? So the scriptures show us. Right? How these unclean spirits operate. Yeah, they come in the terms of 3 unclean frogs, right? With the coffin. So, you brothers that are out there, if you come across that, you know what that is. That's someone that's trying to issue out of their mouth an unclean spirit upon you. Could be burping, could be coughing, even snip. There's all this, even sniffing, but more so the coughing and the burping, right? And the mischievous spirit. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. And until the next time, shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.